Chapter 310. Actually cultivated illusion technique martial art. Su Lin also changed her face. Martial art contains lethality and can destroy the martial artist's body. Illusion technique contains spirit power and can confuse the martial artist's mind. When the two are combined, it is not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. Illusion technique martial art, the lowest level is profound level high rank, the cultivation difficulty, it is said to be very exaggerated. 3 Absolute Palace many Heavenly Dipper realm martial artist can successfully cultivate profound level high rank illusion technique martial art, 10 out of 10. Once the cultivation is successful, the strength will exceed the same realm martial artist. With Vault of Heaven Dance, Ruo Lu's opponents are now only Situ Lei and Qi Heng. 3 Absolute Palace Lord smiled faintly. On the side, the gray-haired 3 Absolute Palace Supreme Elder said, the strength of Situ Lei doesn't need to say much. Qi Heng's defense is too strong. If Ruo Lu can't break his defense, it's not a simple matter to win. Jiang Ruo Lu, who exposed the illusion technique martial art, instantly surpassed Li Fuchen. In everyone's view, Jiang Ruo Lu is definitely a King Star level character. Except for King Star, no one is an opponent. TSK Disc. This year's Stars ranking tournament is indeed the strongest Stars ranking tournament since the disappearance of the absolute experts. The final rankings are no longer clear. With illusion technique martial art, I am afraid that the position of Thunder King Star Situ Lei is somewhat unstable. Li Fuchen is also very powerful, except for 3 King Star and Jiang Ruo Lu, he is the strongest. Everyone talked about it and felt emotional. In the 43-20 game, Li Fuchen won a game smoothly. With the victory of this game, Li Fuchen reached 80 consecutive wins, and the Heavenly Dipper Battle Chi under his feet transformed from the giant python form to the fierce flood dragon form. Not only did the head grow a horn, but also claws and fangs, and the scales on the body were shiny and neat, like a piece of carefully polished metal copper, exuding terrible pressure and evil chi. Also reached 80 consecutive wins, and 3 King Star, Jiang Ruo Lu and Qiyuya. The Heavenly Dipper Battle Chi under the feet of the 6 people has transformed into the Flood Dragon form. For a time, the Flood Dragon roared, shaking the sky, faintly revealing the faint King aura. In the 4500th game, Qiyuya and Teng Qingyun met. On the round table, Qiyuya's head is tied with a golden crown, and his face is like a crown jade. The left waist is equipped with a sword, and the right waist is a flute. At the same time, with a smile on his face, a unique and fierce aura is filled, like the Emperor of the Sword. He lifted the corner of his mouth and spoke with self-mockery and confidence. Everyone probably thinks that I am not a match for Li Fuchen. Everyone probably thinks that my strength is only comparable to yours. Teng Qingyun frowned. He didn't know what Qiyuya was going to say. I Qiyuya, not a supporting role. Teng Qingyun, let's start with you. A gust of wind blew, and Qiyuya's clothes fluttered in the golden robe. Clang. The sword was unsheathed. The golden sword shone brightly under the sunlight. Heavenly Dragon Sword Art. Heavenly Dragon examines the heart. A terrible sword cry sounded. The next moment, a dazzling golden light burst out, and a golden dragon phantom suddenly appeared and swam toward Teng Qingyun. The strong Emperor's chi and sword chi filled the air wantonly. It seemed that the whole world was covered by this sword. This sword is overbearing to the extreme. This sword is powerful to the extreme. Under this sword, all skills seem to have lost their meaning. What? Heavenly Dragon Sword Art. On the Heavenly Dipper Stone Pillar, all the heavens chosen are dumbfounded. Like Teng Qingyun's Purple Chi Divine Needle, Qiyuya's Heavenly Dragon Sword Art is also a profound level top-rank sword technique, and it is the most terrifying profound level top-rank sword technique. It is the secret of Heavenly Dragon Sword Sect. The ordinary gold true disciple is not qualified to cultivate, and only Qiyuya, the rare sword Dao genius, can make an exception. And once the cultivation of Heavenly Dragon Sword Art, it means that Qiyuya has become one of the heirs of Sect Master, and there is a chance to compete for the position of Sect Master in the future. The entire Heavenly Dragon Sword Sect, Shedding Body Realm, is qualified to cultivate Heavenly Dragon Sword Art. No more than 10 people, Earth Fiend Realm Cultivation Base, only Xianxia. Outside the Heavenly Dipper Great Array, Sky Dragon Sword Sect Master's eyes were full of confidence. Xianxia was not an ordinary Sword Dao prodigy, but a rare Sword Dao prodigy of the Sky Dragon Sword sect in 1,000 years. Not only had he cultivated the hidden dragon sword technique to the great perfection realm in just a few years, he had also practiced the Sky Dragon Sword art to the great accomplishment. Profound level top-rank sword technique? Li Fuchen had to admit that Xianxia was the most talented potential heavens chosen he had ever seen. Heavenly Dragon Sword art? Teng Qingyun's face changed. His purple Qi Divine Needle is just an ordinary profound level top-rank martial art, and Heavenly Dragon Sword art is the top profound level top-rank martial art. The Golden Dragon Phantom broke through the air, and the terrifying pressure and sword Qi were also crazy. Teng Qingyun screamed, and the dark green bamboo pole in his hand was purple Qi. At this moment, Teng Qingyun displayed purple Qi Divine Needle to the extreme. Broken! The dark green bamboo pole turned into an infinite purple shadow, and the purple shadow converged into a beam of purple light, facing the Golden Dragon Phantom. Hong! The golden light and the purple light are intertwined, and the entire round table seems to be trembling. The next moment, a Golden Dragon Phantom that shrank a circle, tore the Qi strength and swooped to Teng Qingyun. Crackle and rattle! Teng Qingyun waved the dark green bamboo pole and struggled to resist. When the Golden Dragon Phantom was smashed, Teng Qingyun broke into a cold sweat. Heavenly Dragon Sword art, Heavenly Dragon soaring. Hey! A resounding sword cry rang out once more. The image of a golden dragon streaked across the sky like a golden rainbow. It was even faster than before, and its power was even more ferocious. After resisting 3 or 4 strokes, Teng Qingyun could no longer resist, and the Golden Dragon Phantom cut through the body protecting true Qi, and the whole person flew out. For a time, the blood mist was filled. 2 strokes, Teng Qingyun was defeated. The strength of Xianxia shocked everyone. We all underestimated Xianxia. His strength is also King Star level, and unlike Jiang Ruoliu, Xianxia's strength is the strength of the upright, and Jiang Ruoliu needs to rely on illusion technique to confuse the opponent's mind. The situation is getting more and more confusing. I really don't know what the final outcome will be. After taking a deep breath, the crowd was filled with excitement. Although they weren't the ones who were strong, to be able to witness such a showdown between top-notch geniuses was still an enjoyable experience for them. In another 3 years, there probably wouldn't be such a grand occasion anymore. After defeating Teng Qingyun, Xianxia won all the way and reached 82 consecutive wins. In the 83rd battle, I finally met a super heavyweight, Golden Whip King Star Jin Sudong. No one thought that Xianxia would meet the 3 King Stars so soon. According to the previous example, Heavenly Dipper Great Array, generally the strong will be left behind. Golden Whip King Star Jin Sudong looks gloomy. There are too many uncertain factors in this session. A Jiang Ruoliu and a Xianxia are uncertain factors. He does not have absolute certainty to beat the 2. Jin Sudong shoot. Chapter 311. Booming. 2 people fight, naturally earth-shattering. On the round table, the Golden Qi strength is madly intertwined, accompanied by the Golden Dragon Phantom and the Golden Whip Shadow. Jin Sudong's martial art talent is far less than Xianxia, and the martial art is just a set of profound level high-rank whip technique. But Jin Sudong has a half-step Heavenly Dipper realm cultivation base, and body refining talent is quite good. It is obvious that a profound level top-rank body refining cultivation technique is cultivated to a very high realm. The golden whip in the hand swings up, whining, as if a bunch of twisted entangled light is spurting, in sputtering. Ordinary people don't say close to Jin Sudong. I am afraid that just on the round table, it will be swept away by the wanton golden light, shocked. Just Xianxia is not simple. The Heavenly Dragon Sword art cultivation to the realm of great accomplishment, a man and a sword, invincible. The Golden Dragon Phantom seems to be condensed by countless sword light. Every time it collides with the Golden Whip Shadow, it will break out endless sword light and sword Qi. The battle of the 2 has surpassed the level of Earth Fiend realm. Some of the newly promoted Heavenly Dipper realm martial artists are estimated to be so strong, maybe not as good as the two. Too strong. The battle of King Star level made everyone stunned. The strength of each blow of the two men is so great that they can easily kill them several times. I am afraid that even if a group of people go up, they will be crushed, unless they can be preemptive. Worthy is Heavenly Dragon Sword Art. Li Fuchen secretly praised. Eastern Lin Continent has 10 5-star secret techniques and 10 profound level top-rank martial art. This Heavenly Dragon Sword Art is the 7th profound level top-rank martial art. In comparison, Azure Billow Sect's profound level top-rank sword technique is undoubtedly much worse. Azure Billow Sect's sword technique is roughly divided into two veins. One is the water vein, the other is the fire vein. The water vein has Azure Billow sword technique. This sword technique is very famous throughout Eastern Lin Continent. It is estimated that it can be ranked in the top 50, and Fire Vein's Burning Heaven sword technique can also be ranked in the top 50, but compared with the 7th Heavenly Dragon Sword Art, the gap is not a little bit, at least a level. Fortunately, his Heavenly Dragon Sword Art seems to be only at the realm of perfection, otherwise, it is estimated that Golden Whip King Star Jin Sudong can't stop a few swords. The realm of martial arts mastery was further divided into 3 realms, namely the Perfection Realm, the Peak Realm, and the Perfection Realm. Perfection meant that you had already cultivated this martial art to a very high level of mastery. On the other hand, reaching the peak of perfection meant that you had completely grasped this martial art and had begun to integrate your own will into it. As for the trance level, that was the level of sword intent. Reaching this level meant that you had comprehended the sword intent of the sword art. From then on, using this sword art would be like breathing, and there wouldn't be any obstructions. Furthermore, it would allow this sword art to be more in line with the heavenly Tao, allowing you to unleash an extremely terrifying might. Under normal circumstances, only a mystic-class high-tier sword art at the peak of perfection could contend against or even suppress a mystic-class mid-tier sword art at the level of sword intent. But a mystic-class peak-tier sword art was different. A mystic-class peak-tier sword art was too powerful. There was no need to talk about Earth-class sword techniques. At this level, sword techniques had already interfered with the operation of nature and the secrets of heaven and earth. Earth-class was not just for show. It had its own unique meaning. Mystic-class sword technique, containing a trace of heaven and earth mystery, cannot interfere with the natural operation for the time being, but also on the way to interfere with the natural operation. Mystic-class peak tier, representing the top level of mystery, is only a step away from interfering with the natural operation. This level of martial art is very terrifying, basically the mystery to the extreme. Under normal circumstances, the Mystic-class peak-tier sword technique of the realm of perfection can suppress the Mystic-class high-tier sword technique at the level of sword intent. If it is the Mystic-class peak-tier sword technique of the peak of perfection, not to mention. If Qiyuye cultivates the Heavenly Dragon Sword art to the peak of perfection, among the 3 King Stars, it is estimated that only Thunder King Star Sidolei can compete with it, and this is because Thunder King Star Sidolei has a half-step Heavenly Dipper realm cultivation base. Li Fuchen rose too fast. If he rose slowly and participated in the next Star List Great Competition, he estimated that he would have the opportunity to contact the Mystic-class peak-tier sword technique Burning Heaven sword technique. Now, his background is still too shallow, and he has not been exposed to some sect secrets. The Great War is heating up step by step. Everyone can find that Golden Whip King Star Jin Sudong, who has a half-step Heavenly Dipper realm cultivation base, has fallen a bit, and his opponent, Qiyuye, is only Earth Fiend realm peak cultivation base. Impossible, impossible. Jin Sudong roared, the golden whip in his hand danced wildly, and the golden whip shadow was like golden magma splashing, trying to compete with Qiyuye's Heavenly Dragon Sword art. But Qiyuye's Heavenly Dragon Sword art is too mysterious, every move is so terrifying, so deep, there are no weaknesses in all aspects, no flaws to speak of. Give me a break. Jin Sudong's face blue veins were exposed, and a huge golden whip shadow, like the halo of the rising sun, swept in all directions. Heavenly Dragon Sword art, Heavenly Dragon's wrath. Xianxia also broke out the Heavenly Dragon Sword art unique skill, a sword out, endless sword light gathered, condensed into a golden dragon with teeth and claws. The golden dragon roared, turned into a long rainbow, and madly rushed out. Hong hong hong. The golden chi strength has been viscous like water, splashing wantonly, casually. A golden chi strength can kill a heaven's chosen. In this endless golden chi strength, even Heavenly Dipper realm low-rank martial artist will be afraid. Puff. After all, Golden Whip King Star Jin Sudong was the weakest one among the 3 King Stars. His battle power was not as good as Thunder King Star Situlei, and his defense was not as good as Immovable King Star Chiheng. A large amount of golden sword light condensed together and swept over, instantly tearing apart his defensive circle and his protective Xianxia. Jin Sudong spurted out a mouthful of blood and was sent flying. If he didn't cultivate the profound level top-rank body refining cultivation technique, this sword was enough to penetrate his chest. A sword hit Jin Sudong. Xianxia stood with a sword, did not chase, the breath of the body, more and more intense, like the emperor of the sword. Golden Whip King Star Jin Sudong lost? Incredible, incredible, this is the first time in decades that King Star has been defeated. In the past, King Star could laugh to the end, or after participating in a Star List Great competition, early promoted to Heavenly Dipper realm martial artist. This Star List Great competition is too special. I have a hunch that maybe King Star will fall. Impossible, Thunder King Star Situlei is absolutely strong, and the defense of King Star Chiheng is also ridiculously strong. If you want to beat them, the difficulty will increase a level. What else can't happen? Let's wait and see. Jin Sudong's defeat was out of everyone's expectations, but it was also within reason. Xianxia, who has mastered the Heavenly Dragon Sword art, is too powerful. No one thought that Xianxia could cultivate the Heavenly Dragon Sword art to great accomplishment. You should know that Heavenly Dragon Sword sect also has other profound level top-rank sword techniques. The power of some profound level top-rank sword techniques is similar to the power of Tung Qingyun's Purple Qi Divine Needle, not so exaggerated. Is Jin Sudong also defeated? Chiheng's pupils shrank and stared at Xianxia. Chapter 312. 84 consecutive wins, 85 consecutive wins, 86 consecutive wins, 87 consecutive wins. There are only 5 people left who can win in a row, namely Thunder King Star Situlei, King Star Chiheng, Dragon Sword Young Master Xianxia, 3 Absolute Fairy Jiang Ruoliu and Li Fuchen. Since defeating Tung Qingyun, Li Fuchen has not encountered any opponents, but Xianxia has defeated Tung Qingyun and Jin Sudong. Xianxia's 88th game again encountered a strong enemy, but it is 3 Absolute Fairy Jiang Ruoliu. The battle between the two has set off a storm. Xianxia is strong, but Jiang Ruoliu's illusion technique martial art is not vegetarian. If the spirit willpower can't hold it, it doesn't matter how strong you are. In the face of Jiang Ruoliu, Xianxia's face finally became dignified. Illusion technique martial art, it is impossible to prevent, no one knows whether to resist, and if you can't bear it, his strength can play half as good, it is impossible to be the opponent of Jiang Ruoliu. Fortunately, for illusion technique martial art, he is not unprepared. Hong! On the stage, Jiang Ruoliu broke out the imposing manner, containing the imposing manner of concept domain, which seemed to cut the space where the round table was located, and in it, it was always under the impact of the illusion technique aura. Xianxia's heart tightened, and everything he saw was distorted, and there was a hint of double shadow. Fortunately, the distortion is not very serious, the distance of the double shadow is very small, and his Heavenly Dragon Sword art, the attack range is quite wide, and there is almost no effect. Vault of Heaven Dance. Jiang Ruoliu figure is unfolded and fluttering. The dance is full of magic and fierce aura. This time, in the eyes of Xianxia, the double shadow distance has been enlarged more than 10 times, and the spirit will has appeared violent fluctuations, wanting to indulge in it. Very powerful illusion technique martial art. Xianxia's face changed greatly. Illusion technique martial art is several times more powerful than he imagined. If there is no other means, he will lose. The left hand turned, the long flute on the right waist fell into the hand, and Qiyu blew it. The sound of the flute is very passionate, and the tone is cadence. Hearing the sound of the flute, everyone seems to see a tragic battlefield. The two armies confront each other, and the sound of killing is earth-shattering. On a pile of corpses, Qiyu is stepping on the corpse, holding the flute in his left hand, holding the golden longsword in his right hand, and exuding an incomparably strong overlord aura. At this moment, he is not only the emperor of the sword, but also the god of the sword. Bo 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 bo. On the round platform, the illusion aura dissipated by more than half, and Jiang Ruoliu's vault of the heavens dance also stagnated. Sound wave martial art? Jiang Ruoliu's face darkened. There are many kinds of sound wave martial art. There are pure lethality, and there are also those that stimulate blood qi. The sound wave martial art that Qiyu displays is obviously a type of spirit. To a certain extent, it can eliminate the side effects of illusion technique. Break. Vault of Heaven Dance is an illusion technique, not only full of illusion technique, but also very fast, very flexible. Jiang Ruoliu figure swayed, appeared on the left side of Qiyu, a palm shot out. Under the influence of the illusory aura, this palm was also extremely blurry. It seemed real yet fake, illusory yet real. Holding the sword in his right hand, Qiyu pierced Jiang Ruoliu's palm technique qi strength, and the golden sword light spilled out, forcing Jiang Ruoliu to quickly retreat, embarrassed. Jiang Ruoliu, others are afraid of your illusion technique martial art, not necessarily I am afraid. Heavenly Dragon Sword Art, Soaring Heavenly Dragon. The sound of the flute does not stop. Qiyu's movement technique is displayed, and the long sword in his hand is waved. The golden sword light condenses into a golden dragon and soars toward Jiang Ruoliu. Crackle and rattle. Jiang Ruoliu's defense was broken clean, and the golden sword light that sputtered was like a wave, drowning her in it. After a few strokes, Jiang Ruoliu finally admitted defeat. Her vault of the heavens dance has little effect on Qiyu. If Qiyu is only a little stronger than her, she still has hope to win, but Qiyu's frontal combat strength is too strong, stronger than her. After defeating Jiang Ruoliu, Qiyu's momentum reached its peak, and he will be the king star of this Star List Great Competition. According to the rules of the Star List Great Competition, only the top 3 can be called King Star. King Star represents the king of the star list and the king of heaven's chosen. Although King Star's talent potential may not be the top 3, at least the strength is the top 3, which is enough. After all, people who can become King Star, talent potential, even if it is bad, at least it is the top 10, and it can be King Star. As for Li Fuchen, this moment was forgotten by everyone. In everyone's view, Li Fuchen is strong. I am afraid it will not be the opponent of Jin Sudong and Jiang Ruoliu, and Jin Sudong and Jiang Ruoliu lost to Qiyu. At this moment, the Star List Great Competition has entered the late stage. The strength ranking is also beginning to take shape. Among the 6 young masters, Dragon Sword Young Master Qiyu is first, Eternal Spring Young Master Teng Qingyun is second, Flying Sword Young Master Luo Feiyun is third, Gale Young Master Han Yiming is fourth, Battle Spirit Young Master Xiahou Chuan is 5th, Heavenly Star Young Master Murong Di is 6th. Among the 4 fairies, Jiang Ruoliu defeated Su Lin and is still the head of the 4 fairies. Su Lin is still the second, the third is Su Muyu, the fourth is Yan Qingwu. The mixed ranking of 6 young masters and 4 fairies, Qiyu first, Jiang Ruoliu second, Teng Qingyun third, Su Lin fourth, Luo Feiyun 5th, Han Yiming 6th, Xiahou Chuan 7th, Murong Di 8th, Su Miu 9th, Yan Qingwu 10th. The next game, Golden Whip King Star Jin Sudong against Jiang Ruoliu. This battle has been entangled for a long time. On the front strength, Jin Sudong is a lot stronger than Jiang Ruoliu. However, Jin Sudong did not have a sound wave martial art that could compete with the illusion technique martial art, and eventually lost to Jiang Ruoliu. Li Fuchen's personal 95th game, and the person of the duel is Jin Sudong. Jin Sudong's face is very ugly. As one of the 3 king stars, he has lost to Qiyu and Jiang Ruoliu, which is undoubtedly a huge shame. To know that King Star is a symbol of glory, It is reasonable to win, and it is more ugly than other people losing. He seems to have heard that someone is discussing that his king star is too bad. Qiuye and Jiang Ruoliu are strong, but you are king star, and you have to come up with your own prestige. The last star list great competition, Qiuye is ranked 28th, and Jiang Ruoliu is only 7th. The progress of the two is much bigger than him. Therefore, when fighting with Li Fuchen, Jin Sudong's face is a lot colder. He can't lose again. Otherwise, he will become the joke of this star list great competition. Jin Sudong is a bit miserable. Qi Heng shook his head. This can only blame himself, the skill is not as good as others, and it is useless to say anything. Situ Lei sneers. Qi Heng is silent. In fact, this can't blame Jin Sudong, his progress is big enough. Except for Qiuye and Jiang Ruoliu, dealing with other people can be pressed. Unfortunately, Qiuye is too abnormal, and Jiang Ruoliu's illusion technique martial art is too unsolvable. Look at this battle. Qi Heng stared at the two people on the round table. On the round table, Jin Sudong holds the golden iron whip and says coldly to Li Fuchen, I advise you to take the initiative to admit defeat, don't let me fight. Li Fuchen's strength is only better than Ting Qingyun. He doesn't think the other party is qualified to fight with himself. Don't try how to know. Chapter 313. The sword essence fragment was different from other secret techniques. The incomplete sword essence secret art didn't need to be activated. It was a bit like a bone weapon that could convert true qi into sword qi. Because it didn't need to be activated, it could be stacked with other secret techniques. For example, now, Li Fuchen stimulated pure yang astral qi. Pure yang astral qi flowed through the bones, transformed into black iron sword qi, and black iron sword qi could be further enhanced by the profound light sword in his hand. As such, the significance of the sword essence fragment was different. The black iron sword essence itself was equivalent to a 4-star secret technique, but with the pure yang astral energy, it could reach the 5-star level. Moreover, Li Fuchen's Real trump card is the bronze sword essence. 70% of his bones were black iron sword essence and 30% were bronze sword essence. Although it is only 30%, the power is heaven and earth. Li Fuchen does not intend to use it until the critical moment, otherwise it is too shocking. He can be sure that even 10 Thunder King Star Situ Lei will be killed by his bronze sword qi. Courting death. Jin Sudong was enraged and burst out with his cultivation and secret technique. The golden whip in his hand turned into a golden rainbow and blasted at Li Fuchen. The power of this blow is great to the extreme. In a previous game, Jin Sudong whipped Ting Qingyun out and defeated Ting Qingyun with 3 whips. In his opinion, even if Li Fuchen's consciousness was strong and could dodge the first whip, but the next few whips would gradually compress Li Fuchen's dodging space, causing him to eventually have to fight head-on, and at that time, whether it was momentum or state, it would be reduced, and he would only be defeated more miserably. Aren't you going to dodge? In Jin Sudong's vision, Li Fuchen instantly drew his sword and slashed at him. Li Fuchen did not intend to dodge. Fighting with Ting Qingyun, he can use consciousness to defeat the other side, but fighting with Jin Sudong, using consciousness to defeat the other side will be extremely difficult, there is no need. In the body, the burning heaven true qi was transformed into pure yang aura qi, and the pure yang aura qi was transformed into black iron sword qi. The black iron sword qi passed through the profound light sword, combined with the flaming demon sword art, transformed into a more terrifying black iron sword aura. The red-black sword aura appeared extremely violent and awe-inspiring. In the void, a red-black sword mark flashed and disappeared. The next moment, the red-black sword aura tore through the golden rainbow, and like a hot knife through butter, blasted in front of Jin Sudong. What? Jin Sudong couldn't believe his eyes. That move just now, although he didn't go all out, he still brought out his regular combat strength, but it was easily broken by Li Fuchen. The golden whip shook, and Jin Sudong resolved the black iron sword aura. His figure staggered back a dozen steps. Jin Sudong was not the only one who was shocked. Everyone was shocked. Even if it is Qiuye, his eyes cannot help but become cold. Li Fuchen actually concealed his ability. How much ability did he conceal? This Li Fuchen isn't thinking of defeating the Golden Whip King star, Jin Sudong, right? Impossible. At this moment, no one dared to make wild guesses. Every time they thought Li Fuchen had revealed his full strength, Li Fuchen would always burst out with an even stronger strength, as though there was no end to it. This is? Ouyang Wentian hesitated. It's a special secret technique. Next to Ouyang Wentian, an Azure Billow sect supreme elder said. Yes, it should be a special secret technique. A special secret technique that can be superimposed with other secret techniques. If I guess correctly, this should be taught to him by the first mystic martial artist. I didn't expect him to learn it so quickly, and it seems to be very high. Another Azure Billow sect supreme elder said. As Azure Billow sect supreme elder, the two are more knowledgeable than Ouyang Wentian, so they can see it at a glance. But both of them thought that this was the first odd martial artist taught Li Fuchen. Golden Absolute Hall Master's face is quite gloomy. Jin Sudong is defeated again and again. If he loses this time, his Golden Absolute Hall will become a joke. Jin Sudong, who was beaten back by Li Fuchen for a dozen steps, groaned, and the strength broke out to the limit, no longer reserved, and then rushed to Li Fuchen, a whip waved over. The dazzling golden whip shadow is like a golden waterfall. Wantonly to Li Fuchen, ordinary people are swept by this whip shadow, must be broken bones. But this does not include Li Fuchen. Before the sword, Li Fuchen did not exert all the strength, just a little test. After all, the 5-star secret technique is too powerful. Pure Yang Astral Chi with Black Iron Sword Essence is not a common realm of 5-star secret technique, but the perfection level 5-star secret technique. If it is fully displayed, it is enough to kill Jin Sudong with a sword. So that sword, Li Fuchen only exerted 40% to 40% of the strength. But even with 40% of the strength, it easily broke Jin Sudong's whip technique. At this moment, seeing Jin Sudong go all out, Li Fuchen still maintained 40% to 40% of the strength, and Jin Sudong had a hard fight. This time, Li Fuchen only had a slight upper hand. After Black Iron Sword Aura broke Jin Sudong's golden whip shadow, the remaining sword aura quickly dissipated. Give me defeat, defeat, defeat. Jin Sudong is almost crazy, and the offensive is endless, like a storm. Just under Li Fuchen's superb consciousness, Jin Sudong's every move is like an insect on a spider web, without any threat. 10 strokes, 20 strokes, 50 strokes. Jin Sudong is declining, and the whip technique is a little sluggish. Flame Demon when X in. Li Fuchen hit a sword, and the Black Iron Sword aura ran through the body of Jin Sudong. Actually won? It's terrible. This kind of person is extremely dangerous. No one knows how many trump cards he has. If he is an enemy, he can escape. In everyone's eyes, Li Fuchen went from being unfathomable to abnormally dangerous. Qi Heng shook his head. Jin Sudong was defeated again. Although Jin Sudong was defeated, it had nothing to do with him, but as one of the King's Star, Qi Heng was still a little upset. 3 King's Star, 1 glory, 1 loss, 1 loss, 1 loss, the other 2, prestige will also be lost. Jin Sudong, these people I will solve one by one, 3 King's Star, cannot be damaged because of your glory. Qi Heng secretly thought. His strength, why is it so strong? Among the people, the most dumbfounded is undoubtedly Dolin clan number 2 young giant Xiaohosher. Before that, he regarded Li Fuchen as a prey, and now Li Fuchen, the prey, has become a giant dragon, which made him frightened. Defeating Jin Sudong, Li Fuchen reached 95 consecutive wins. This result, currently only 4 people maintain, namely Thunder King Star Situ Lei, King Star Qi Heng, Dragon Sword Young Master Qi Yuye and Li Fuchen. The first 3 are basically the top 4, and Li Fuchen is still unable to determine the top 4, because there is still a Jiang Ruoliu he has not defeated. If you can beat this star list great competition, his result is the worst is also the 4th. Li Fuchen's personal 98th game, the opponent is Jiang Ruoliu. Jiang Ruoliu's illusion technique martial art vault of heaven dance. Even Tung Qingyun and Jin Sudong can't resist. Even Qi Yuye has to rely on sound wave martial art to compete. So this battle, suspense is very big. It's just that in Li Fuchen's view, the threat of Jiang Ruoliu is very low, and I am afraid that even Ting Qingyun can't compare. On the round table, Jiang Ruoliu first broke out with the imposing manner of illusion technique and wanted to test Li Fuchen. Chapter 314. Worthy is the first odd martial artist personal disciple. Jiang Ruoliu's heart sank. She had a hunch. Li Fuchen was afraid that she did not want to meet the person. Vault of Heaven Dance. Jiang Ruoliu's dance movements seemed to have a magical power. Even a corner of her clothes would bring about endless illusions. Every time Jiang Ruoliu used the Vault of Heaven Dance, most of the geniuses on the Heaven Dipper stone pillars didn't dare to look at her. They were afraid that they would fall into the illusion and reveal their ugly side. Opposite, Li Fuchen's eyes are clear. Jiang Ruoliu's Vault of Heaven Dance is indeed very powerful. Although he is not affected, his mind is very sensitive, and he can judge the power level of Vault of Heaven Dance without being affected. Flame Demon Killing Shadow. The Balrog's Killing Shadow, which was driven by the Black Iron Sword Qi, was more than 30% more powerful. A red and black cover covered Jiang Ruoliu. The next moment, countless Black Iron Sword aura intertwined and raged, leaving sword marks on Jiang Ruoliu's body. Almost in an instant, Jiang Ruoliu became a bloody man. Jiang Ruoliu, defeated cleanly and miserably. What? He is not afraid of illusion technique? The strength of Li Fuchen's performance, everyone is not surprised, but Li Fuchen is not afraid of the characteristics of illusion technique, but shocked everyone. Not afraid of illusion technique? There are only two explanations. Either there is a hidden talent, immune to illusion technique, or the spirit will is strong enough to ignore illusion technique. No matter which one it was, they were both extremely terrifying. If this child grows up, it is the nemesis of my 3 Absolute Palace. 3 Absolute Palace Lord frowned. 3 Absolute Palace can be ranked as one of the top 10 forces, mainly relying on illusion technique martial art, but if illusion technique martial art is useless, 3 Absolute Palace will undoubtedly be removed from the top 10 forces and replaced by other forces. Fortunately, there is only one Li Fuchen. Following Li Fuchen's victory over Jiang Ruoliu, the top 4 of this year's stars ranking had basically been determined. Thunderous King Star Sidu Lei and Immovable King Star Qi Heng might not have met many elite prodigies so far, but with the strength displayed by the two of them, the top 4 was stable and there was no need to compete. In the 5,300th game, Immovable King Star Qi Heng appeared, and this time his opponent was Ting Qingyun. Clang 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 clang. Sparks sputtered. Ting Qingyun's dark green bamboo pole madly whipped on Qi Heng, but what made everyone afraid was that Qi Heng had no scars on his body, and his powerful defense actually ignored Ting Qingyun's full attack. I admit defeat. Ting Qingyun was disappointed. If he couldn't even break through the opponent's defense, how was he supposed to fight? The 5,468th game, Thunder King Star Situ Lei against Su Lin. Thunder Fist. In the face of the same half-step Heavenly Dipper realm, and the cultivation technique reached the 17th layer of Su Lin, Thunder King Star Sidu Lei only made a punch. A punch, the sky is full of thunder, endless thunder gathered together, condensed into a huge thunder and lightning fist, bombarded on Su Lin. A mouthful of blood spurted out, and Su Lin's whole body shot out, and the thunder and lightning raged. Level 17 Cultivation Method? Li Fuchen raised his brows. The cultivation technique of Sidu Lei is not a general profound level top-rank cultivation technique, but the number 1 cultivation technique of Thunder God sect, the famous thunder and lightning divine merit of Eastern Lin continent. The same is the 17th layer realm. The destructive power of thunder and lightning divine merit is definitely the first in Eastern Lin continent. On the comprehensive ranking, thunder and lightning divine merit is at least the top 3. In addition, Sidu Lei's martial art realm is obviously much higher than Su Lin. The 5,600 game, Qi Heng fights Jiang Ruoliu. Although he knows that he can't be a Qi Heng opponent, Jiang Ruoliu wants to know if his illusion technique martial art Vault of Heaven Dance can affect Qi Heng. Facts have proven that illusion technique martial arts are illusion technique martial arts. Even the immovable king star Qi Heng had a trace of illusion. Unfortunately, Qi Heng's defense is too strong. Jiang Ruoliu's attack is just a drizzle for Qi Heng. After being attacked a few times, Qi Heng seized the opportunity and punched Jiang Ruoliu. Next, Siddelei also defeated Jiang Ruoliu. As the first king star, Siddelei's strength is much stronger than Jiang Ruoliu's. Even if there is a trace of hallucination, it does not prevent him from roughly determining the location of Jiang Ruoliu. Next, all he has to do is throw a punch. With this punch, the endless thunder condenses into a fist and blasts into the void. Just the aftermath of the thunder and lightning makes Jiang Ruoliu seriously injured, and the illusion technique martial art is broken. Then, Situ Lei defeated Golden Whip King star Jin Sudong. Also King star, Jin Sudong's strength is more than a little worse than Situ Lei. On the cultivation technique, Jin Sudong's cultivation technique is not as good as Situ Lei's thunder and lightning divine merit. On the cultivation technique realm, Jin Sudong is only the 16th layer apex, which is not as good as Situ Lei's 17th layer cultivation technique realm. In terms of speed, Situ Lei's speed is as fast as lightning, and the momentum is like thunder. So, it is still a punch, and Jin Sudong was defeated. Perhaps for Situ Lei, whether it is Jin Sudong or Jiang Ruoliu or Su Lin, it is almost the same. Anyway, it can't take his punch. Situ Lei's strength is too strong. Qi Heng's defense is also strong. Maybe only Situ Lei's fist can break his defense. I don't know if Qi Yuye and Li Fuchen can break his defense. It's hard to say, the situation is confusing. At the end of the Star List Great Competition, everyone is holding their breath. This Star List Great Competition is known as the strongest session since the disappearance of Super Expert. It turns out that the rumors are not wrong. This session is indeed the strongest session. The last Situ Lei and Qi Heng were invincible, and every game was a crushing opponent. Jin Sudong is a lot worse. If it is not the last session, there is no powerful heavens chosen. Jin Sudong is difficult to become the third king star. And this session, the invincible people have changed from 2 to 4. Qi Yuye and Li Fuchen have been invincible so far, and every game has been won cleanly, without a trace of suspense. On the Heavenly Dipper Stone Pillar, the Heavenly Dipper battle Qi in the form of Flood Dragon under the feet of the 4 people roared from time to time. Compared with the Heavenly Dipper battle Qi of some other heavens chosen, the Heavenly Dipper battle Qi of the 4 people is more ferocious, more overbearing, and the king aura is more intense, faintly changing from Flood Dragon to True Dragon. As a result, the 4 people are also set off by the domineering extraordinary, all with the heavens chosen king, the atmosphere of the future lord. I didn't expect that my Azure Billow sect disciple could go to this step. Zhao Enlist can't believe this fact. Before the start of the Star List Great Competition, his best expectation for Li Fuchen was the top 30 or the top 20, and he didn't think about the top 10, let alone the top 4. And now it seems that Li Fuchen is likely to become one of the new 3 king stars. Who can see the future? We are just a shrimp in the long river of fate, drifting. Ouyang Wendian said. On the side, the 2 Azure Billow sect supreme elders nodded, although they were shedding body realm martial artists, but in the face of fate, they were no different from ants, and to see through the fate of another person, how difficult, especially the fate of the prodigy. Rumble. Heavenly Dipper Stone Pillar sank, and Li Fuchen's 101st battle came. On the other side, Qi Yuye's Heavenly Dipper Stone Pillar also sank. The 2 looked at each other, and the eyes hit sparks in the void. Chapter 315. Whiz. The 2 fell on the round table, and the speed was as fast as lightning. Heavenly Dragon Sword Art, Heavenly Dragon asks heart. Qi Yuye didn't talk nonsense, and there was no sense of exploration. When he came up, he displayed the profound level top-rank sword technique Heavenly Dragon Sword Art. Endless sword light gathered together, condensed into a golden dragon, and violently hit Li Fuchen. This sword seems to be stronger than defeating Golden Whip King star Jin Sudong. I heard that Qi Yuye not only has a 6-star root bone, but also has sword vein, which can increase sword Dao lethality. Maybe the rumors are true. Many people are talking. Outside the Heavenly Dipper Great Array, Heavenly Dragon Sword sect masters smiled faintly. If it is only based on talent potential, Qiuye is not worthy of the reputation of Heavenly Dragon Sword sect's rare sword Dao genius in a millennium. But Sword Vein is different. Heavenly Dragon Sword sect has been 1,000 years, talent potential is comparable to Qiuye, but there is no Sword Vein, there is Sword Vein, but there is no Qiuye talent potential. The so-called Sword Vein is a kind of innate physique. This physique has a natural perception of Sword Dao, and in the dark, there will be an invisible strength to add to the sword technique, making the sword technique power increase. The most terrifying thing is that Sword Vein is not a dust. With the increase of the cultivation base, Sword Vein will slowly awaken, and when awakened to a certain extent, it is enough to develop a terrifying Sword Dao divine ability. Those who have Sword Vein, the general talent potential is very strong, in ancient times, known as the future Sword Dao Supreme Expert. In the face of Qiuye's strong sword, Li Fuchen slightly increased his strength and brought his strength to 70% of this appearance. Black Iron Sword Aura is like the sword of Demon God, slaughtering out and slashing with the Golden Dragon. Clang clang clang. On the round table, the Golden Sword light is like a fine sword rain, crazy spray, and Li Fuchen urges the red and Black Iron Sword Aura, intertwined, all annihilated the sword rain. Blocked? Qiuye looks a little. In the battle with Golden Whip King Star Jin Sudong, he only slightly stimulated Sword Vein, and now he basically stimulated Sword Vein. These four people are not on the same level as us at all. Everyone was dumbfounded. In their view, Qiuye and Li Fuchen are already able to fight with Situlei Qiheng, maybe a little worse than Situlei, but definitely not weaker than Qiheng. At least it seems that it is possible to break Qiheng's defense. As everyone expected, Qiheng's expression became much more solemn. In his view, Qiuye and Li Fuchen have been able to break his defense, which means that the two are hopeful to beat him. Li Fuchen, you are the first person to force me to the limit of my strength. Qiuye took a deep breath, and in the depths of the meridians, a trace of strength was squeezed out. If someone can see through Qiuye's body, they can find that Qiuye's meridians are pale gold, completely different from ordinary people. This is the legendary Sword Dao physique, Sword Vein. Sword Vein is incomparably tough, can withstand more powerful scouring, and has Sword Vein. Internal injury recovery is also very fast. To know that martial artist fights, it is generally internal injury, and internal injury is generally meridian damage or 5 viscera and 6 bowels damage, but Qiuye does not have to worry about meridian damage. As for the 5 viscera and 6 bowels damage, it does not matter. The 5 viscera and 6 bowels are connected to the meridian is strong, and it can also moisten the 5 viscera and 6 bowels. Of course, this will consume the strength of Sword Vein. Sword Vein is pale gold, and the strength squeezed out of Sword Vein is also pale gold. This trace of pale gold strength follows the arm Sword Vein and pours into the golden long sword. The next moment, the golden long sword in Qiuye's hand burst into a more dazzling golden light, and it seems that there is a sword mark outlining the surface of the golden long sword, increasing sword force. Heavenly Dragon Sword Art, Heavenly Dragon Soaring. The golden rainbow is like a golden lightning connecting the heavens and the earth, and it goes to Li Fuchen. This sword, whether it is power or speed, has reached a shocking level. This child has the legendary Sword Vein, and the Sword Dao lethality is almost doubled. Azure Billow Sect Supreme Elder frowns. In the history of Azure Billow Sect, there has not been any Sword Vein. For thousands of years, only Heavenly Dragon Sword Sect and Lingxiao Sword Sect have appeared in a few Sword Veins. Strength can still increase? Seeing this, Li Fuchen also frowned. He couldn't understand where Qiuye's strength came from. But it doesn't matter if you understand or not. The strength is mobilized to 90%. The profound light sword in Li Fuchen's hand has been dyed red and black, like a demon sword. On the demon sword, the sword aura swallows and spits, and an extremely terrifying Sword Dao aura pervades. At this moment, Li Fuchen becomes like a sword demon. Split. Holding the sword in both hands, Li Fuchen smashed a sword. Most of them are black sword aura, like a chaotic blade, crazy cut to the golden rainbow. For a time, within 10 feet in front of Li Fuchen, it was filled with red and black sharp qi flow. Like the sound of the cloth tearing, the golden rainbow was cut into dozens of pieces, and it could not compete with Li Fuchen's black iron sword aura. What? It broke again. Qiyuya is angry. The more he used the core power of the sword vein, the less it would decrease. Usually, he would use the power of the sword vein that was dissipating. Once the sword vein core power is used up, it takes a long time to recover. Unless the sword vein can be developed to the point of producing sword Dao divine ability, the core power can be continuously restored. Fight. Qiyuya continues to squeeze out the sword vein core power and Li Fuchen. He doesn't allow himself to lose, and as long as he defeats Li Fuchen, he can be in the top 3. But if he fails, he is very likely not to enter the top 3. After all, this battle consumed a lot of sword vein core power, and the remaining power, I don't know if it can beat Qiheng. As for Sidulei, he is not sure. There is still too little time for him to grow up, and there is no way to surpass Sidulei. Clang 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 clang, on the round table, the two fought fiercely, and the cold sword qi covered the entire round table. Anyone who entered it would be strangled by the sword qi, and there was no foothold at all. When the sword vein core power was consumed by 30%, Qiyuya hesitated. He didn't know if he should continue. It was obvious that Li Fuchen could still persist, but with his limit of strength, he wouldn't be able to persist for much longer. Just when Qiyuya hesitated, Li Fuchen seized the opportunity and forced Qiyuya to only wave his sword. Puff, but in front of Li Fuchen, any negligence will lead to fatal flaws. A sword out, Li Fuchen ran through the body of Qiyuya. Did I lose? Qiyuya still can't believe it. Although he hesitated, it was still very uncomfortable when he really failed. Emperor Sword Dao has always been the only one, high and mighty. In front of him, any swordsman must bow. But now, he lost to Li Fuchen, the swordsman. This is a blow to his Emperor Sword Dao. Li Fuchen? I remember you. Qiyuya's eyes are cold and ruthless. His sword vein will only get stronger and stronger. When the sword Dao divine ability is developed, he wants Li Fuchen to surrender to his feet. Li Fuchen didn't care what Qiyuya thought. A victory was a victory. Right now, he was the victor. The intensity of this battle is far beyond any previous battle. Chapter 316. We all underestimated the identity of the first mystic martial expert's direct disciple. How could a person who can become the first mystic martial expert's direct disciple be simple? His talent and potential must be at the pinnacle of the pinnacle. It is not impossible to say that he is first. A one-star root bone, talent potential is the first of the young generation. Is it too ridiculous? Ridiculous? Hee, the world is big. There is nothing strange. In addition to the root bone, there are some hidden talents unknown, such as Qiyuya's sword vein. It makes sense. Root bone does not represent everything, at least in the legendary records, does not represent everything, some hidden talents, but also beyond the root bone, even sword vein, there are high and low. In fact, what is the root bone we still don't understand, and it is recorded that hidden talent and root bone are actually one, such as Qiyuya's sword vein and 6-star root bone. Maybe it is 6-star sword Dao root bone or 6-star sword vein root bone. I disagree with this. Hidden talent and root bone, it is impossible to be one, otherwise Li Fuchen is just a 1-star root bone, even if he is an extremely special and terrible root bone, but 1 star is 1 star, no matter how terrible, at most, it is comparable to 3 or 4-star extraordinary root bone. Everyone has their own opinions and is talking about it. Interesting, this person seems to be worthy of my serious. Sidulei has a smile on his face. It's not good to be defeated, but if you don't even have an opponent who can fight, it's also not good. Strength unexpectedly so strong? Qiheng felt a strong sense of threat from Li Fuchen, and even Qiyuya brought him a lot of pressure. After losing to Li Fuchen, Qiyuya immediately went to Qiheng. Qiheng is known as undefeated King Star, and his strength is really earth-shattering. Before he was bare-handed, he also took out a large halberd. The large halberd danced. the terrifying power broke out, and Qiuye killed. Is this his true strength? Qiuye did not expect Qi Heng to be so strong before he clearly did not go all out. Very strong physical strength. Li Fuchen saw at a glance that Qi Heng's physical strength is extremely strong. I am afraid to reach the level of hundreds of thousands of Jin. And Li Fuchen's physical strength, with hidden blood refining body true meaning, is 60,000 Jin. Of course, after comprehending body refining true meaning, the increase in strength is secondary, the increase in defense is the main. Li Fuchen believed there were two reasons why Qi Heng's physical strength was so strong. Firstly, Qi Heng had already cultivated the profound level peak-tier body refinement technique to an extremely profound level, and had at least a physical strength of 80,000 Jin. Secondly, the Mystic Tool's sect's defensive secret technique imprinted defensive tool runes on one's body to increase one's defense. Although the defensive tool runes mainly increased one's defense, they could also increase one's strength to a certain extent. Defense and strength were sometimes inseparable. The terrifying power caused each and every one of Qi Heng's moves to be thunderous, as if they wanted to destroy everything in the world. Regardless of strength, attack speed, or movement speed, they were all incomparably shocking. However, Qi Heng's strength is strong, but the control is not as delicate as Qiuye, and his martial art realm is also much worse than Qiuye. In the case of similar power, the subtlety is particularly important. Therefore, Qiuye issued 10 swords. There is a sword to hit Qi Heng. However, Qiuye's heavenly dragon sword light fell on Qi Heng, but it could only leave some shallow sword marks. Occasionally, there will be a deeper sword mark, but at most, there will be some bleeding, just like ordinary people being cut by a small knife. Although it hurts, it is not fatal. So strong defense? Qiuye's face was cloudy and uncertain. He even urged the power of Sword Vein, but he could barely break Qi Heng's defense. Taking a deep breath, Qiuye began to urge the core strength of Sword Vein. Not at the critical moment, he is not willing to urge the core strength of Sword Vein. First, the core strength of Sword Vein is too slow to recover for a few months. It is estimated that it will take more than a year. Second, he wants to use the core strength of Sword Vein on Situ Lei and Qi Heng. If you can't use it, you can't use it. Of course, the premise is to win. If you can't win, it doesn't make sense. The core strength of Sword Vein is urged, and Qiuye's sword technique lethality is even higher, and it has increased a lot. Qi Heng has a deep hole in his body, some of which are deep enough to reach the bone. Damn it. Qi Heng snarled, and the halberd in his hand suddenly flew out of his hand and slammed into Qiuye. Obviously, Qi Heng has practiced throwing long weapons. The accuracy is not to mention the timing. Before shooting, there is no sign. This trick came too suddenly, and Qiuye almost had no time to react. When the halberd turned into a ray of light, Qiuye only had time to block the sword. Sparks sputtered, Qiuye flew out, and the momentum was like electricity. Seeing that Qiuye was about to fly out of the round table, in midair, Qiuye screamed, and Sword Vein core strength broke out unreservedly. The next moment, Qiuye stopped instantly, and then, the whole person seemed to turn into a sword, and the man and sword were united, killing Qi Heng. The sword light flashed, and Qiuye appeared behind Qi Heng. The next moment, Qi Heng's half-body was cut open, and the bones and internal organs were vivid. If it was not in the Heavenly Dipper Great Array, this kind of injury, even shedding body realm martial artist can't treat it, and it will die. So strong. Everyone was shocked. No one thought that Qiuye could break out such a terrifying sword. Looking at Li Fuchen coldly, Qiuye had some regrets in his heart. When he fought with Li Fuchen, he should not hesitate and directly consume most of the Sword Vein core strength. He can beat Li Fuchen, but next, he definitely can't beat Situ Lei and Qi Heng. Very strong sword Dao power. Li Fuchen raised an eyebrow. The power of this sword even exceeds the strength that Black Iron Sword Essence brings him. If he fights with Qiuye and the other party uses this sword, he must urge Bronze Sword Essence. Is this Sword Vein? Situ Lei's eyes are like electricity. If Qiuye can still release this sword when he fights with him, He has no certainty of victory. This session is too exaggerated. These two people are still not people. Are they rising stars? Three King Star only Sidulei is still holding the position. I don't know if it can be held. This is interesting. Li Fuchen defeated Qiyuye defeated Qi Heng. If Qi Heng defeated Li Fuchen, then the ranking between Qiyuye and Li Fuchen is not determined. The strength that Qiyuye broke out made everyone realize that there was still a lot of suspense in the top three, and any of the three could be the first. At this time, Star List great competition has been in the final rounds, and Li Fuchen met Qi Heng, who had recovered from the injury in the next round. On the round platform, Li Fuchen pushed the black iron sword aura to the limit, and the sword aura had turned 90% black, and only 10% of the color was the scarlet color of flame demon sword art. Chi. Compared with Qiyuye, Li Fuchen's sword technique is more compact and seamless, and at least 3 of the 10 swords can leave a sword mark on Qi Heng. Chapter 317. His strength, there is still reservation? Qi Heng looked stunned. When Li Fuchen and Qiyuye fought, there was no such strong attack power, at least 10% weaker than it is now. The bones are broken so that Qi Heng can't break out the peak strength, and the movement is also slightly deformed. Can't wait. Qi Heng was going to brew more strength so that he could throw a more powerful halberd, but the time was too late. The bones in the body are completely broken, and Qi Heng throws the halberd in his hand. Before that, there was no sign at all, and the starting gesture seemed to be omitted, leaving only the outbreak. The halberd turned into a light, a very fast light. Do you use this trick to deal with me? Li Fuchen smiled. Puff the halberd pierced Li Fuchen's body. But soon, Qi Heng's face suddenly changed. The halberd pierced just Li Fuchen's phantom clone, and the real Li Fuchen had already arrived in front of him. Along the wound on Qi Heng's body, Li Fuchen removed the other's right arm with a sword, followed by another wound and removed Qi Heng's thigh. In the blink of an eye, Li Fuchen took out several swords and almost dismembered Qi Heng. Qiyuye can't react. It doesn't mean that Li Fuchen can't react. In fact, this has little to do with the reaction. When Qi Heng brewed this trick, Li Fuchen was already alert, so when the other party was about to send out, Li Fuchen dodged ahead of time and let the other party's attack fall. In order to achieve this, one must have extraordinary consciousness. Qi Heng lost to Li Fuchen after all. Someone sighed. No way, Li Fuchen's combat awareness and combat skills are too terrible, and Qi Heng's flying halberd is useless. As a heaven's chosen, everyone's eyesight is still there. Because it is the last few rounds, Qi Heng has no suspense against Sidulei. Successive defeats to Qiyuye and Li Fuchen have greatly reduced Qi Heng's fighting spirit, but strength is strength. Although you can't play extraordinarily, you can still do it normally. Booming. On the round table, Sidulei and Qi Heng are fighting. Thunder Fist. The endless mad thunder condensed into a fist and bombarded Qi Heng. In an instant, Qi Heng was full of lightning and sizzling. Unfortunately, Qi Heng's defense was too strong. This lightning fist force merely charred the surface of his skin a little. It was not a major hindrance. Sidulei, you won't be able to break through my defense. Qi Heng had some confidence. A swordsman's ability to break through defenses was already very high. Fists and swords could not be compared to the same amount of strength. Really? Sidulei lightly smiled. I don't know how you will take this punch. Sidulei rose into the air and punched down violently. With this punch, a lightning figure condensed behind Sidulei. The lightning figure's huge fist also blasted towards Qi Heng. This is... The Sky Prides widened their eyes. Kaboom! It was as if heavenly thunder had descended. Endless purple lightning condensed into a purple lightning fist that struck at Qi Heng. It was so fast that it arrived in an instant. The purple lightning fist produced thousands of vibrations, instantly piercing through Qi Heng's defenses and roasting most of Qi Heng's body. It's heavenly thunder eradication. Someone recognized the fist technique displayed by Sidulei. Heavenly thunder eradication, Thunder God Sect number 1 martial art, Eastern Lean Continent top 10 martial art ranked 2nd, ranking higher than Heavenly Dragon Sword art, and its lethality is naturally above Heavenly Dragon Sword art. Obviously, Sidu Lei has also cultivated Heavenly Thunder Eradication to the realm of perfection. Pure martial art realm is higher than Xianxia. Situ Lei actually cultivated Thunder God Sect number 1 martial art, worthy of being the first King Star. Situ Lei has a 6-star Thunderbone frame. He cultivates the Thunder and Lightning Divine technique and executes the Heavenly Thunder execution. With the 3 complementing each other, it is enough to burst out with power that is far beyond the norm. Moreover, Thunder attribute martial arts are originally one of the most lethal martial arts. Everyone was very surprised. At the level of Earth Fiend Realm, it is almost impossible to cultivate profound level top-rank martial art to great accomplishment, but Qiyuye and Situ Lei have done it. If Qiyuye defeated Qi Heng by the power of Sword Vein, Li Fuchen defeated Qi Heng by amazing consciousness and skill, and Situ Lei crushed Qi Heng with absolute strength. Thunder God Sect Master smiled. Situ Lei's strength, no one knows better than him. In Thunder God Sect, in private, Sidu Lei even defeated an inner sect elder of Heavenly Dipper Realm 2nd layer cultivation base. If this strength is not star list first, there is really a problem. It's really strong. On power, it's not inferior to Qiyuye's last sword. Li Fuchen secretly thought. Qiyuye defeated Qi Heng's sword, which is very powerful, and the power is nearly doubled in an instant. Situ Lei, without Sword Vein, exerts a similar power, which shows it's terrifying. Because it is the last 2 rounds, the next round, Qiyuye met Situ Lei without suspense. Urging the remaining Sword Vein core strength, Qiyuye and Situ Lei are fighting fiercely. It's just that Situ Lei is too strong, all aspects are top, whether it's cultivation base, cultivation technique realm, martial art power, it's above Qiyuye. If it's not for Qiyuye's Sword Vein, I'm afraid that even Situ Lei can't take it. Human Sword Unity. Qiyuye inspired the last Sword Vein core strength, instant outbreak, human and sword unity, turned into a sword light shot to Situ Lei. Situ Lei's expression was solemn. Even he did not have absolute confidence that he could block this sword. Of course, he doesn't believe that Qiyuye can send out a few swords, otherwise there is no need to hesitate when fighting Li Fuchen. Heavenly Thunder execution slammed out, endless purple thunder and lightning gathered into a transparent fist, slamming into the sword light. The sword light is extremely fast, and the fist is just condensed, and the sword light is already approaching. This makes the power of the fist have no time to brew to the limit. Crackle and rattle. Endless purple thunder and lightning slackened, and a much dimmer sword light passed over Situ Lei. Puff Situ Lei spits out a mouthful of blood, and on his left shoulder, there is a deep bone sword mark. Did Situ Lei lose? Everyone opened their mouths and couldn't speak for a long time. Boom. Qiyuye, who is back to Situ Lei, suddenly bursts into a fountain of blood mist. Take a closer look, you can find that the chest is completely pierced. It turned out that when the sword light cut his shoulder, Situ Lei punched Qiyuye in the chest. Although this punch is not Heavenly Thunder execution, it is just an ordinary punch containing thunder and lightning true Qi, but it is enough to penetrate Qiyuye's defense. Heavenly Dipper Great Array can repair any injury, and in an instant, under a ray of light, Qiyuye's injury is recovered. Still lost. In fact, this sword is not as good as the sword he defeated Qi Heng. Defeating Qi Heng, he can't control the core strength of Sword Vein, 70% of the power, instantly consumed 50%, this time, the remaining 20% of the power is also squeezed clean. He estimates that if he wants to defeat Situ Lei, he will consume at least 50% of the core strength of Sword Vein. Of course, it is useless to have more. At present, he can't break out too much Sword Vein core strength. In fact, if ordinary people don't have Sword Vein, break out so much power, Meridian must be completely destroyed. Defeat Qiyuye, Situ Lei looks at Li Fuchen, next, is a battle between the two. Chapter 318. It's a decisive battle. Apex battle, Situ Lei and Li Fuchen may be the strongest Earth Fiend Realm martial artist in 1,000 years. Yes, it's almost the same, but in the future, Qiyuye will definitely surpass both. sword vein is too strong, can hurt Situ Lei, and is still a huge consumption. Then you don't forget Li Fuchen is only Earth Fiend Realm 8th layer realm, and the room for improvement is also very big. This is also true. Perhaps Qi Yuye only awakens Sword Dao divine ability to become the real strongest Earth Fiend realm. In the eyes of everyone, Qi Yuye, Situ Lei, and Li Fuchen are all at the same level, and the gap is not big. In any case, the star list rankings are already clear. In addition to the first and second have not yet been determined, the following rankings have already been determined. The third is Qi Yuye, the fourth is Qi Heng, the fifth is Jiang Ruoliu, the sixth is Jin Sudong, the seventh is Ting Qingyun, the eighth is Su Lin, the ninth is Luo Feiyun, the 10th is Han Yiming, the 11th Xiahou Chuan, the 12th Murong Di. As for Su Muyu and Yan Qingwu, they are ranked behind, but they are within the top 36, especially Su Muyu, ranked 15th, not much worse. Finally, the game came to the last round. In this round, the other games were already dispensable. Only the battle between Li Fuchen and Situ Lei was the most anticipated by everyone. Everyone wants to know that Li Fuchen, the king of dark horses, is strong. Or Situ Lei, the first king star. Both are kings, and the battle between king and king is naturally eye-catching. Heavenly Dipper Great Array seems to have spirituality. Li Fuchen and Situ Lei's battle is arranged in the last game of the final round, that is, the ultimate field. When this moment came, everyone held their breath. Star list first not only is the honor, but also the destiny. According to the past example, the top 3 of the star list are promoted to Heavenly Dipper Realm, and they can be promoted to Heavenly Dipper Realm 2nd layer peak, and the star list can reach the Heavenly Dipper Realm 3rd layer. If you can be ranked in the top 3 for 2 consecutive sessions, the 2nd and 3rd can reach the Heavenly Dipper Realm 3rd layer, and the 1st can reach the Heavenly Dipper Realm 3rd layer peak. Heavenly Dipper Realm 4th layer is not without hope. This was also why Situ Lei and the others chose to suppress their cultivation and participate in the 2nd star's ranking tournament. Of course, several people have not reached half-step Heavenly Dipper Realm 3 years ago, and they are promoted during these 3 years. If the last star list great competition reached half-step Heavenly Dipper Realm, maybe the 3 will consider whether it is worthwhile. After all, it is good to be promoted to Heavenly Dipper Realm early. On the round table, Situ Lei and Li Fuchen stood 20 meters apart. Situ Lei's face is dignified, and intuition tells him that Li Fuchen is not as good as Qi Yuye. Even if he can win, it is estimated that it is a tragic victory, and it is impossible to win with only a little injury. Heavenly Thunder Eradication. Purple electric light shines. Behind Situ Lei, a group of thunder and lightning figures condense, endless purple thunder and lightning spread over the round table, and immediately condense into a purple thunder and lightning fist at a very fast speed, blasting to Li Fuchen. Li Fuchen dodged a Heaven Thunder Eradication. The Heaven Thunder Eradication was extremely fast. If Li Fuchen relied on his reaction, he wouldn't be able to dodge in time. But if he had exceptional awareness, he would be able to dodge in advance. Can you dodge it with a strong consciousness? Situ Lei sneered, purple thunder surged, a fist condensed, and a piece of Li Fuchen. This time, Li Fuchen really can't dodge. Dodge early, useless, dodge late, the speed is not so fast, cannot move out of the attack range. Flame Demon Killing Shadow. A black shield with a tinge of red appeared and enveloped the sky full of fist shadows. Crackle and rattle. The cover was torn, and the much dimmer fist still slammed into Li Fuchen. Worthy is Thunder God Sect No. 1 martial art. Li Fuchen took a deep breath and quickly made an effective evasive move. Boom. The purple thunder and lightning fist is too dense, and there is a fist. Li Fuchen can't avoid it anyway, and only has time to lift the sword to block. Purple electric arc diffused, Li Fuchen's feet rubbed the ground and slid out, and a large number of scorch marks appeared on the skin. Well, take another punch from me. Situ Lei screamed, and the figure was like lightning, crossing the sky, and countless thunder and lightning fists hit Li Fuchen again. It seems that I have to expose bronze sword essence, and it should be okay to expose a little. Li Fuchen does not intend to expose all the strength of bronze sword essence. It is too shocking. Maybe it is okay now, but once the first odd martial artist leaves, he will become the target of public criticism. Even now, black iron sword essence is estimated to have caused many people to covet. After all, the secret technique that can be superimposed is rare. Even the top 10 forces are estimated to have no. On the surface of the bones within the body, the black iron sword mark is still bright, and at the same time, about half of the bronze sword mark is lit up. The next moment, countless black with bronze and red sword aura sprayed out, facing the thunder and lightning fist that broke the air. Can you stop it? Situ Lei sneers. Hey hey hey. Like a bubble being punctured, it seems that the fierce and overbearing thunder and lightning fist has collapsed. The next moment, the dense sword aura is like rain, sprinkling to Situ Lei. What? Situ Lei was shocked and the figure retreated wildly. In the process of retreating, Situ Lei made 3 punches to break the dense sword aura. His strength. Situ Lei is bewildered. He can be sure that Li Fuchen must have used some hidden ability to make the strength soar, otherwise, he can't break his heavenly thunder execution. Is this still a human? How many trump cards does he have? Everyone has been dumbfounded and can't be dumbfounded. Again and again, again and again, 3 and 4. Li Fuchen hid his strength again and again, and the strength broke out again and again. Everyone was shocked from the beginning to numb, and then couldn't help but be shocked. Heavenly thunder execution, heavenly thunder shattering. With a scream, Situ Lei broke out the unique skill in heavenly thunder execution. As soon as the unique skill is out, everything is electrocuted into nothingness, including dust. At the same time, a strong electric field is born. In the strong electric field, Li Fuchen only feels that the body is overcharged from the inside to the outside. That kind of numbness makes him feel a little powerless. To know that this is just a fist, if you are bombarded by the thunder and lightning fist, you will definitely be smashed. Almost subconsciously, Li Fuchen's body surface held up a layer of black and green true qi. This is the combination of black iron sword qi and bronze sword qi, which is sword qi body protection. Its strength is far beyond the ordinary body protecting true qi. With the body protecting sword qi, Li Fuchen's body numbness disappeared. The next moment, Li Fuchen exploded, and the profound level high rank killing move Flame Dragon blasted out. Sword aura condensed into a flame dragon, most of which is black, the periphery is cyan, and the edge is crimson. It looks like a dragon, but it is more like a thunder and lightning. Of course, there is no thunder and lightning attribute, but the shape is not fixed. Thunder and lightning fist was cut open, and flame dragon sword aura was like a hot knife through butter, bombarding Situ Lei's body protecting true qi. Although Situ Lei's body protecting true qi is extremely powerful and specially reinforced, it is better than the flame dragon sword aura mixed with bronze sword aura and directly annihilated. Hua! Sword aura swallows, Situ Lei's half-body is annihilated by sword aura. Chapter 319. Worthy is the first odd martial artist, unexpectedly passed down such a secret technique. There are many sects shedding body realm martial artists with envy. The secret technique that can be superimposed is rare in the world. Perhaps the super expert has it, but now, it is almost impossible to see. Li Fuchen's secret technique should be a 4-star secret technique, with Azure Billow sect 4-star secret technique, enough to exert the power of a 5-star secret technique. Of course, they do not know that the Sword Essence secret technique remnant is not a 4-star secret technique, but a 6-star secret technique, and it is the top 6-star secret technique. The complete version is at least 7-star, and even 9-star is possible. If you know this, it is estimated that there will be more covetous people. Maybe someone will take the risk, regardless of the first odd martial artist deterrence, from Li Fuchen where the Sword Essence secret technique remnant. After all, the first odd martial secret realm cannot exert the full strength, equivalent to Apex shedding body realm martial artist. If the cultivation of the Sword Essence secret technique remnant, it is not impossible to defeat the first odd martial artist and run rampant throughout Eastern Lean continent. Unfortunately, everyone doesn't know. Everyone thinks that Li Fuchen's secret technique is just a 4-star secret technique. If it is only a 4-star secret technique, it is not enough to make the shedding body realm martial artist desperate. Secret technique, this thing has its limitations. The general shedding body realm martial artist corresponds to a 5-star secret technique. The 4-star secret technique is not ineffective, but the effect is not great. If it is a 3-star secret technique, it is estimated that there is no effect, and the strength increase is minimal. In other words, as the cultivation base improves, the level of the secret technique is also higher. The 4-star secret technique that can superimpose the secret technique, at most make Heavenly Dipper realm martial artist crazy, not enough to make shedding body realm martial artist crazy. Of course, if there is, it is best. After all, a little strength is a little strength. Grandfather, Li Fuchen won the championship. Zhao Mingyue pleasantly surprised. Yes. Zhao Wujin nodded and looked pleasantly surprised. In Azure Billow sect, he is the first one who is more optimistic about Li Fuchen. Now all this proves that he is not wrong about Li Fuchen. In fact, he is underestimated. He actually became the star list first? Lu Wuhuang and Yuan Tian are unbelievable. Not long ago, they were delusional about the future with Li Fuchen, thinking that Li Fuchen is just going further now. However, from the looks of it now, he had not only gone further, he had clearly left them in the dust. 3 years later, when they participated in the next Stars ranking tournament, it was unknown where Li Fuchen would be. This is probably the most subversive Stars ranking tournament. Su Muyu thought to herself. As a rookie, no one has done it for hundreds of years. In the last Star List Great Competition, Sidu Lei won the first place at the age of 24, and in the last Star List Great Competition, there is no older elite heavens chosen. Otherwise, Sidu Lei wants to win the first place. It is not an easy thing. This year was known as the year with the most elite prodigies. Logically speaking, it was already heaven-defying for a rookie to be able to enter the top 10. It was impossible for him to get first place, but Li Fuchen did it. I really underestimated him. Yan Qingwu frowned. What she had said before the match now seemed to be a joke. But she couldn't be blamed. Li Fuchen's performance couldn't be viewed with common sense. Shock, sensation, envy, jealousy. No one thought that this Star List Great Competition would be won by a rising star. The faces of the Thunder God sect people are not very good. For them, this is completely a cooked duck flying. After Li Fuchen defeated Sidalei, he represented the Flood Dragon form Heavenly Dipper Battle Chi opened his mouth and sucked. Situ Lei represented the Flood Dragon form Heavenly Dipper Battle Chi, which was sucked in a lot of Heavenly Dipper Battle Chi. The next moment, Li Fuchen's Flood Dragon form Heavenly Dipper Battle Chi began to transform. From one horn, it grew into 2, and its claws became 5. The scales on its body were vivid and lifelike, giving off a bright light. This is the true dragon form Heavenly Dipper Battle Chi. The true dragon form Heavenly Dipper Battle Chi roared, and the rest of the Heavenly Dipper Battle Chi, which had been lowered, did not dare to compete with it. With the birth of the true dragon form Heavenly Dipper Battle Chi, the Heavenly Dipper Great Array seems to be activated and active. Above the sky, the stars shine, and the starlight falls from the sky and blends into the Heavenly Dipper Great Array. In a short time, the 36 Heavenly Dipper stone pillars, each one exudes dazzling starlight, various forms of Heavenly Dipper Battle Chi, have shrunk and finally condensed into an imprint. Whiz 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 whiz. The imprint lashed out and was branded on the eyebrows of the top 36 people. Li Fuchen only felt a pain in the eyebrows, and the next moment, a true dragon imprint was engraved on the eyebrows. Is this Heavenly Dipper Battle imprint? Heavenly Dipper Battle imprint, only after being promoted to Heavenly Dipper Realm, will begin to activate, not only can promote more realms at one time, but also Heavenly Dipper Battle imprint, very mysterious, can make Heavenly Dipper Realm martial artist, cultivation speed doubled. It can be said that every 3 years of Star List Great Competition is a must-compete competition, even if the character is more indifferent, do not want to miss. After all, this is related to the future, missed. The future will spend more than 10 years of cultivation time than others, may not be able to catch up. In addition, Earth Fiend Realm Martial Artist has Heavenly Dipper Battle Imprint and can sense the realm of Heavenly Dipper Realm in advance, which can be promoted to Heavenly Dipper Realm faster. His True Dragon Imprint is different from mine. Sidu Lei, who is extremely cold, stared at Li Fuchen. When he saw the True Dragon Imprint between Li Fuchen's eyebrows, he was stunned. His True Dragon Imprint was only the horn of the True Dragon, but there were no True Dragon claws, and there were some small differences in other places. The same star list, why True Dragon Imprint will be different? This Sidu Lei can't figure it out. Unfortunately, except for the Heavenly Dipper Battle Imprint, the rest of the people can't see the Heavenly Dipper Battle Imprint between their eyebrows, including Shedding Body Realm Martial Artist. After all, once promoted to Shedding Body Realm, the former Heavenly Dipper Battle Imprint between the eyebrows will disappear. What everyone doesn't know is that inside Star Fate Mountain, there is an old man phantom that looks at all of this. Yes, this session has actually produced a complete form of True Dragon Imprint. In general, it is necessary to be the first of 2-star list in a row to have a chance to condense the complete form of True Dragon Imprint. It seems that this year's Heaven's Chosen is too much, and the invisible Heavenly Dipper Battle Chi and Star Fate have increased a lot. The old man phantom smiled and then dissipated into nothingness, as if it had never appeared. Rumble. Welcome to Legends of Cultivation, audiobooks, where we bring ancient fantasy to life through storytelling. Follow the rise of heroes who defy fate, unlock mystical powers, and battle across celestial realms. Our audiobooks are crafted for fans of Chinese cultivation novels, filled with battles, breakthroughs, and legendary artifacts. Subscribe and be part of an unforgettable journey into the realm of immortality.